Hello, and welcome back to Turbo Fire Garage. Today, we have a very special 327 on the stand with a lot of family history. If you have watched my previous videos of the 1965 Impala, you would have seen this motor in it. I swapped it out for a Chevrolet 409W motor that my dad and I had started to build before he passed. This motor holds a lot of history and significance, as Dad built this motor with his buddies when he first purchased the car back in 1983. The motor was smoking pretty bad, and when he removed it in December of '83, the machine shop said that the motor was not rebuildable and he'd have to find a new block. So he went down to the junkyard, picked up another 327 block, and in late December of 1983, December 23rd to be exact, he had his buddy who worked at West Seattle Auto Parts pick up a few things and have the engine rebuilt. As you can see, the block was cleaned and bored, as was the manifold, and they reconditioned a few rods. The original 1965 Impala heads did have to have a little bit of work done to them. Valves and guides, it seems. He did put in a little bit bigger camshaft. It is an Edelbrock 2102 Performer. And the specifications on that are 204, 214 at 50, and lift is 420 and 442. The block was bored 30 over, and flat top pistons were installed with a compression ratio of about 10.5 to 1. The plan for this motor is to keep it largely the way that it is, especially in looks, because I'd like to pay tribute to Dad and keep the engine the way that he wanted it. I will, of course, have to fix this. Even though this motor has run like this for 20,000 miles, it's still pretty far off, and it does need to be addressed. I will be making some modifications on the inside though, and I will be going with some PRW roller rockers. These rockers have a 1.65 ratio and are self-centering. I will have to go with some Z28 style valve springs. And as far as the camshaft goes, I'll be going with a L79 camshaft. Dad purchased this camshaft on February 10th, 1995, and he never installed it. I did take the camshaft down to Delta Cam, and they cleaned it up for me. It came out to 223, and the lift is 447 and 456 on a 111.4 degree lobe separation angle. So while this camshaft is the 350 horsepower camshaft, and with the roller rockers that I'm putting in it, the 10.5 to 1 compression, and the port work that I'm going to be doing to the heads, I'm hoping to reach that 350 horsepower mark, even though this does have the 194 150 valves. One thing that I did note while taking it apart is there are two different header gaskets. There's a round one and a square one. And if you look at these ports right here, this side had the square ports, and they're more round than the square ports. And this one had the round gaskets, and they're more square than the round gaskets. I'm going to start taking the engine apart and I will bring you back and let you know what I find.